It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to hour number 2 of That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. And it's Tech Thursdays, brought to us by Nick Paris, CEO of Alpha Computing Solutions. And as always, you can learn more about him over at alphacomputing.com. So we're happy to welcome back Nick Paris into the program today. Nick, how you doing today?
Doing good, Jamie. Thank you.
So you're in here a couple weeks ago. Any new developments in the world of tech? What's going on out there these days? Pokemon Go and has kind of been in the news in the tech business.
Yeah, it has definitely been in the news. That's for sure. And like I was telling you a story just a minute ago, one of my colleagues just put up in his office. He said, if you leave the office to go chase Pokemon, don't come back. You're fired.
I got yesterday to see how the application works because Yara was over at the Center Club and she had that thing up and she found a Pikachu in there, I guess, which is kind of rare, but she had that up, and so I kind of got to see how the game works or the app works. So that was my first exposure to it.
It certainly has its appeal, but it's kind of like when solitaire back in the day. Everybody's playing solitaire at work. It's like you got to work while you're here at work. You got to work. So
interestingly enough, though, we're going to be talking a little bit today about the different party platforms with regard to tech. I didn't even know the Democrats and the Republicans had a platform on tech that differed. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We don't usually talk politics, but if it's related to tech, we'll talk a little bit about that. So like the Democratic Party, for instance, what's their platform on tech? What are we going to see from them?
Well, Jamie, we're going to touch a little bit on some history here as well, because I think it kind of ties back into what happened, decades ago, as well as kind of what's going on with the elections nowadays. The first thing is that the Democratic Party has definitely committed that what they want to do is they want to provide free Wi-Fi to all anchor institutions and broadband to all households. So this is kind of a big deal because here in Tampa, we're a little spoiled as far as technology goes. We have Verizon Fios, or actually now Frontier Fios, but we have the fiber optics here in Tampa, which gives us incredible speeds. But throughout the rest of the country, internet is still spotty.
Yeah, I know.
There's still areas that just almost have no internet.
I was up in West Virginia for my 20-year reunion, and I was without cell service a lot. So.
Exactly.
Working bathroom.
Yeah. We've moved past that over there.
That's a different technology problem. We'll get to that one later.
I even had to go old school up there. My data plan ran out, and then I couldn't get service. I had a rental car with no GPS, and I got lost. I had to stop at the gas station and ask for directions. I had to go old school.
That is old school. That's for sure is old school.
So, go ahead.
But that's the whole thing is that when you look at the country and the economy and all that, and you try to get to a point where we're all interconnected, we're all working, and we're doing this as best as possible. This basic infrastructure of being able to get onto the internet and collaborate is just crucial. And so I think it's one of these things that the Democratic Party has said this is something that we're going to stand behind and we're going to try to get behind. Now, whether or not it should be something that the government does or doesn't do, that's a different story and a different debate. But certainly the Democratic Party has said that this is what they're going to do.
We're seeing more and more free Wi-Fi locations. And I've said for a couple of years now that probably in 20 years, Wi-Fi will be standard across the nation. I think there'll probably be some national platform or something, sort of like what
and that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
right.
It's kind of become standard. Although it's not free, but it's something that's going to become standard, I think.
Right. Absolutely. So this is very similar to and again, going back to high school and history and all that sort of stuff, towards the end of the Depression, FDR came out with his New Deal, and he came out with the Works Progress Administration, and the basic premise there was to sort of give everybody the opportunity to get a job. But basically, what the WPA did was they built up our infrastructure. They built up our bridges, our roads, and things like that. And that's really kind of what we're talking about here. We're talking about taking another leap forward where we make the country better by providing basic services to things that everybody, major pockets of the country.
Sort of like our interstate system did for the America when we got all the roads built. And
exactly,
all the
and
states
a lot of that
yeah.
happened through the WPA, exactly. Mm-hmm. And so think about it now that if we had to get a truck from California to New York and there wasn't an interstate system, it would take almost twice as long, if not longer. Right. We have that same sort of situation with the internet. if you're in a rural area, you may not be able to get to internet at all. I've got a client that built a cabin up in North Carolina, and that's one of the challenges that we're having. He's out of cell service, so he doesn't have a lot of good cell service there, and there's no internet that was run directly to his cabin. And when I say cabin, it's a 10,000 square foot cabin, so it's not like a very small thing.
Is it even possible to get Wi-Fi out into the rural areas through satellites or whatever? I mean,
we have looked into satellites, and there's a bunch of different options that we've kind of come up with, but they're expensive. I mean, they're almost like $500 or $600 a month. So now you've suddenly taken out of what's reasonable here. $500 or $600 here would get you just an incredible amount of speed. That there, it's a very, very, very low speed.
Is this something that's going to phase out data, and this will be what we will primarily use on our cell phones?
I think
with Facebook, you can call people through the messenger.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean,
I think it will change. I think for corporate America, you're still going to need some wired connection. You're still going to need to get onto the internet. However, the consumer or the average person running around, I think, will shift more and more away from a hard computer, tablet, something like that, to something that's a lot more
But
mobile.
if we have free national Wi-Fi, I mean, where does security come into play here? Now we're just kind of sitting ducks for anybody to start hacking into these things, as we're seeing right.
Well, that's where the government would have to take over security. They would have to be responsible for that. If they mandated that there is free Wi-Fi and broadband to everybody, then there would have to be some specification for what does secure mean, and how do we achieve that, and who's responsible.
So on the flip side, the Republicans, what is their technology platform?
Well, we'll get to that in the next one. In the next installment, we're going to deep dive into what they want. But basically, one of the other
probably surrounds wall building, I'm guessing.
something like that. Something like.
Go ahead.
But a lot of what the Democrats have sort of been talking about, again, if you think about the way that the internet started, there was a network called ARPANET. And basically what it was designed to do was to connect universities. And it was free. And that's really what the internet was built on. Initially, it was free. And so as time moved on, we had internet service providers that entered into the game and then started charging us.
I thought the internet was originally designed for military use.
It was partially for that as well, but ARPANET also was to do some colleges or universities out in the West, and then once they started doing that, they started branching out to the East Coast, and then all of a sudden it just kept going from there. And then we started looking at, okay, how do we do that? How do we make it secure and all that sort of stuff? So that really is kind of where we've started, but now we've kind of gotten to this point of, okay, well, to get onto the internet, it costs money. And one of the other things that the Democrats sort of look at is this concept of net neutrality. For a while there, it was rumored that Verizon would actually block services if you were, or actually give preferences to their own subscribers. Mm-hmm. So if you were on a different network, if you were on Comcast or something like that, and you were trying to place a voice over IP call, and also a Verizon customer was trying to place a voice over IP call, they would give preference to their own customer, which you would kind of say it makes sense because they're paying for it and so on and so forth. But from the grand scheme of things, you really don't want that. You really want kind of this open internet where you can freely do what you need to do over the net.
Now, the internet came together, though, kind of, without a plan, and I've heard rumors in the past of, like, redesigning the internet to make it more secure. I remember hearing in the past about, like, Internet 2, they called it. I don't know whatever became of that, or if we learned to fix it just, through our own ingenuity right now.
Well, I think we've built in a lot of that security issue. We've built in ways to safeguard around that, and a lot of what we've done now is we've left it up to the individual corporation. We've said, okay, if you're as a corporation going to be on the net, it's your responsibility to take over.
But we're still
security.
not secure. I mean, look what just happened this week at the DNC. Russia hacked in, or they think there was Russia that hacked in and got those emails released about what the DNC was doing to old Bernie Sanders there. So we're nowhere near secure yet, right?
Well, no, we're not. We're not near secure. But again, there's got to be a definition of what that means. To what you might think might be secure might be different than what I feel is secure. And that's a little bit of a struggle that the IT industry has with business owners, consumers, government, so on and so forth, we feel that there's a higher standard that there ought to be for security versus what's actually out there. You don't want some foreign country being able to hack in and do whatever. But you look at, well, once we start building that wall, what is it?
Thanks for recovering.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought I'd bring you back in. Once you do that, where do you sort of draw the line? So it really is kind of a double-edged sword.
So how soon before you think we see free Wi-Fi across the country? Do you think we'll see that eventually?
I think eventually, but I think as you said, I think it will take
But it's going to be hard getting it into the rural areas and stuff.
Absolutely,
you got mountains and stuff in West Virginia. I mean,
absolutely, and the bigger thing there, Jamie, more is laying cable, because it's not that you can't get Wi-Fi. I mean, you could run wires all the way around and get saturation. The problem is investing in the infrastructure and investing into having people go out there, investing into the cable or fiber or whatever, and getting it laid.
I miss the old days when we weren't even that connected. Now we're so connected. It's like it's scary how connected we're
becoming. But that's the way it's going. And as a country, we need to make a decision. I think it's every voter's responsibility to kind of look at, how does the party that you're going to vote for, how do they view what technology is about?
We heard the Republicans' new platform yesterday, just let Russia hack into everything.
And that certainly is a plan, and I'm sure Russia would be more than willing to take that over for us. But I don't think that's really what we ought to be doing.
Trump challenge.
Jamie, do you miss you got to love the ease of access to the internet. At least we don't have to mess with AOL disks and things like that anymore. Remember them days?
Yes.
I joke about that from time to time. But yes, if people out there are still using the old AOL addresses out there, whatever became of AOL, they're still out there, right?
They're still around. They're still around, but certainly don't have the market share that they used to. That
definitely was a fall from grace right there.
I got a good acronym for AOL. Asked out of luck.
Got to hit the middle of the hour break. Currently talking to Nick Pear, CEO of Alpha Computing Solutions, on this Tech Thursdays edition of That Business Show. Learn more about him at alphacomputing.com or give him a call for all of your IT needs at 813-839-7671. He's at extension 100. Again, 813-839-7671. You're listening to That Business Show. Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING. In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. 4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Good morning. As we take a look at the roads around Tampa Bay, really no major problems to report accident-wise, just some slow traffic on southbound 275 between Fowler Avenue and Hillsborough Avenue. The Veterans Expressway only slow between Wilski and Waters. Northbound 75 a bit slow near State Road 60. And earlier problems off to the side now on westbound I-4 between Plant City and McIntosh. See traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abrahamson, New York. Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by SOS Children's Villages. War, poverty, and disaster have left millions of children around the world orphaned, abandoned, alone. When their parents can't be there, SOS Children's Villages is there in 134 countries, including the U.S. To make a difference in a child's life, go to sosusa.org.
Today, partly sunny with a 30% chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, high 92. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 78. Tomorrow, a 20% rain chance, high 93.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. On this Tech Thursdays edition of That Business Show with Nick Paris, CEO of Alpha Computing Solutions. Please learn more at alphacomputing.com. He can help take care of all of your IT needs, and he helps me out a lot with my IT needs as well. And you can give him a call at 813-839-7671. Nick, we're talking about the platform that the Democratic Party has for technology, and they're for net neutrality, free and open internet. What are some of the other areas of focus for the Democratic ticket?
Well, I think that the free and open internet, I think, is a big one, mainly because, again, what you don't want is a decision by some internet provider as to what traffic is going to flow across the internet. You don't want them stopping something because you're not a subscriber of theirs, because you could technically then almost have, tolls every stop you go along the way, and that could get very, very expensive. And I think that that's something that the Democrats are certainly saying, listen, we need this to be a free-flowing thing, just like the interstates are. Yeah, we have tolls here and there, but by and large, the interstate system is free. You can turn on your car, you can get on there, and you can go from point A to point B. And that's really the way that the internet needs to be as well.
So if the Democrats had their way, is there going to be one central control over the Wi-Fi, a government control, and then everybody would just get it from the one internet service provider, which would be the government?
I don't think that they're talking about that. I think what they're talking about is saying to the service providers, you can still stay in business. We still want you to do your service. However, it needs to be free-flowing. You can't put systems in place that will keep things from flowing through. Like for a while there was media was the big thing, movies and things like that, and Verizon didn't have this whole big cache of movies. Then they suddenly did. Well, there was a concern that if you wanted to get a movie and you were a different subscriber, that it might not flow through their system because they also provided now movies as well. So it's that sort of thing where you don't want to have tolls as you go across the internet. You want the information to go all the way from point A to point B unencumbered.
Will this shut down some of the internet piracy or things like Kodi, which is a streaming device that you can stream like movies and things like that haven't been released?
Well, certainly it won't shut that down, but certainly what it would do is say to them, you can't do that. That we still want even that to happen over the internet, as opposed to putting something in place and saying we're going to stop it, unless again you're a Frontier customer and you say, well, we're going to allow this device on there and let that work. So really, it's the free and open part that's the most important.
Speaking of Frontier, we've talked about them a number of times on the show here since they've taken over for Verizon in the area. A lot of hiccups along the road. How are they looking out there? How are we looking on internet service out there?
Probably 98% good, but we're still seeing some up and down.
I'm having some problems at my home that I'd never had before. My internet's dropping in and out. So.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about. We're getting alerts every now and again of sites going down, but they're going down overnight. So I'm almost wondering if they're doing some type of maintenance that's taking it offline and bringing it back online.
Don't they have to kind of like make an announcement and let people know they're doing that?
They're really supposed to.
Well, they're out there. They're out there doing a big PR push right now to improve their public relations here with the community.
They're trying to get their customers back. I mean, they lost a lot when all that happened, and so I
was at the South Tampa Chamber of Commerce lunch the other day. They had a representative there, and they're joining the chambers and they're getting out there and spreading.
What are they doing? Like giving away free Chick-fil-A or something?
I don't know what they're just spreading the word that they're working hard out there and apologizing for the mess that they created. And I don't understand though why. I mean, everything was in place. All they kind of had to do was just kind of flip the switch to Frontier. I don't know what was the problem.
Well, they were trying to integrate two massive systems. Is really what they were trying to do. I mean, it wasn't just a matter of they bought all the assets. It was a matter of there was Frontier, there was Verizon, and then you had billing systems, you had ticketing systems, you had tech support systems. It wasn't just the service itself. It now meant you had to try to integrate all that stuff. However, as I said on previous shows, it just dumbfounded me that they didn't start that earlier. There must have been something in the sale that maybe Verizon said, you're not going to get access to our stuff except maybe a month out or 2 months out, and there just wasn't enough.
They put too much into paint and changing the signs.
Changing the vans and repainting them and all that. Absolutely.
Forgot about the infrastructure.
The funny part is I still see every now and again, I see a Verizon truck go by. I keep wondering, hey, how did you get one of those? So
that's a lawn service that hasn't changed their sign yet.
Yeah, that's it.
We got a couple minutes left here. Real quick, Windows 10 free until tomorrow.
Absolutely. This is our last PSA on this. No more public service announcements. So Windows 10 free until tomorrow night at midnight. After that, you have to start paying for it. You do have 31 days once you install it to roll it back. If for some reason you don't like it, you can uninstall it and roll it back.
What's the price tag they're sticking on Windows 10 after this? $150, $200?
Yeah, I think it was almost about $200.
So you got to get it today or tomorrow, or else it goes away. Any talks of extending that deadline?
No, they've had it now for a year. And I think Microsoft's line is, a year is a year. I mean, we don't need to keep offering it for free because at some point they want to.
Any reason not to upgrade? I mean, I've had it for the last year. I've seen minimal issues with it, and the ones I've had are pretty unique to me in a couple applications.
Jamie, I've got some clients that absolutely hate change.
You probably got some guys going back to Windows XP. And
yeah,
stuff, don't
absolutely.
You?
I do have a couple of XP people out there. Absolutely.
You still got anybody running a 98 or anything?
No.
They got them off of the 98.
Got them off of that, but
it's completely worth it though. I took Nick's advice and did it, and it was super easy. I didn't need to call Nick. Obviously, I did it myself, so it's not that hard. It's just, it's so much smoother, easier to use, and if you haven't done it yet, you probably should.
Right, better do it by tomorrow at midnight, or else the free upgrade
ticking.
is over. So,
absolutely.
Nick Paris, thank you so much for being in studio today.
Jamie, thank you.
And again, Nick Paris, CEO of Alpha Computing Solutions. Learn more at alphacomputing.com or give him a call 813-839-7671. Coming back for another break, we'll be talking with Ron Klein and David Kauffman on That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Hi, I'm Kelly Ham from Dillmeyer Ham Consulting. Did you know that one of the biggest challenges that leaders face is getting their employees to be engaged, motivated, and producing amazing business results? At Dillmeyer Ham Consulting, we'll help you transform your workforce culture from one that might be underperforming, maybe mediocre, to achieving amazing business results. You see, we realize that your workforce culture is equally as important as your business plan and your business strategy. The two must be aligned in order for you to reach your desired business and financial goals.
Carol,
hey Jim.
I just got this plan that could really help with our process here.
Okay, why don't you just have a seat and let's go over it.
Let us help you transform your workforce culture by leveraging your most important assets, your people. I want to know what's going on in your organization. Let us help you transform your workforce culture. Let's have a conversation.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Someone you know is suffering from Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. They're dealing with excruciating pain and days when they won't be able to get out of bed. Help someone you know and support the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America at ccfa.org.
1250 winds, weather center forecast. Mostly sunny skies today, lower rain chance, around 20%. So expect a hot and dry afternoon coming up with the temps back in the low mid-90s. Upper 70s, near 80 for the low. Rain chance higher tomorrow, 40%. A little cooler, closer to the low 90s. Impact Radio, 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Also live stream available over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, please connect with us on all the social media sites, Facebook.com/That Business Show, and also on Twitter under Jamie_Maloney. Time to bring on my next guests for the program. One is returning guest and very accomplished entrepreneur, Ron Klein, who is a business analyst and inventor of many things, including the magnetic strip on the back of the credit cards. And he's been on the program a number of times, so we welcome him back, along with David Kauffman, who is the owner of Empowering Small Business, and he's a business coach, speaker, and trainer, and also has a radio show of his own down there in Sarasota. So David and Ron, welcome back to the program. This is Dave's first time, so both of y'all welcome.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you for having us.
So, David, I'll start with you. You are a speaker, a coach, and you've been selected to carry on the Zig Ziglar tradition here. And for people that aren't familiar with Zig Ziglar, tell us a little bit about that and how you're involved with this.
Right. Well, Zig Ziglar is the author of about 33 books, impacted about 250 million lives worldwide, known as the world's motivator, top sales trainer. And probably most famous for a quote that I love. I have in my office, and I can almost hear him say it: you can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want in life.
Very true. One of my core principles that I like to live by, and obviously doing the show every morning and helping give a voice to the business owner. So I definitely admire that quote as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And so, about 4 years ago, 2012, Zig passed away, and about a year after that, the family handpicked me along with some other people to help carry on the message of encouragement and hope for business owners. And it's a privilege. It's an honor that I have, and I take it very seriously. I'm very humbled by that.
And so you apply the principles of Zig Ziglar through your coaching programs. Is that what that works?
Absolutely. Yeah, we do several programs. The goal setting program, we've incorporated that into some of our coaching practices as well. He has a 7-step goal setting plan that I have used personally to reach some of my biggest goals, and we incorporate that into
What attracted you to the Zig Ziglar program? There's a lot of different speakers and coaches out there in different programs.
Right.
What is so unique about Zig Ziglar's program?
Well, I think it's because he is so relatable. If you know his story, started out in rural Mississippi and really a very poor setting. He became very relatable. Every time he tells his story, it's you get the message. If I can do it, you can do it. And I have a similar background. I'm a farm boy from Georgia, raised on a very humble lifestyle, and I just grew up with him. My dad was a Dale Carnegie guy, and I just connected with Zig. I guess the southern accent, I don't know if that comes through a little bit, but
I remember my father had a lot of those tapes as a kid. He had the Zig Ziglar, he had the Nightingale Conant series, Think and Grow Rich, and I just found out Ron Klein here is in the second edition of Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich.
I didn't even know there was a second edition. Tell us a little about this.
Think and Grow Rich Stickability, and it features Marty Cooper, who invented the cell phone, and myself in the first chapter, and Steve Wallensack in the second chapter from Apple, and 12 of us, 12 people who have accomplished certain things, and it's just a wonderful
They could have done all 12 chapters on you then, but which one did they talk about in Think and Grow Rich for yourself here?
Mostly the credit card and MLS and automating the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah, those are just a few of the accomplishments. If you go back to my past shows, Ron's been in here a few times and really delves into those creations. And it all was the magnetic strip on the credit card your first big invention, or did you do something before that one?
Prior to that was the first point of sale device.
Point of sale device, okay.
And then I automated a little bit further by taking the
real Wolf on Wall Street.
The real Wolf on Wall Street.
Yeah, the only thing Ron's ever failed at is retirement.
That's right.
So he tried to retire.
3 times I tried it.
Yeah. Tried to retire at age 30 and realized 34 was it?
Didn't work. You can only fish so much.
And he hangs out with cool actors like Charles Dance over here from Last Action Hero. There's him out up there.
That's your counterpart, Dave. That's Josh always tries to peg the guest to a certain well-known public figure. Yeah. So now, Dave,
that's scary though.
Dave, who's your niche client out there? You work with business owners. Is there a certain niche industry or business owner that works well with your programs?
Right. So I own a company called Empowering Small Business, and our passion is to help small business owners find freedom in their company so they can spend more time with their friends and people that they love, therefore creating a stronger community, a stronger state, and a stronger nation, and eventually changing the world through entrepreneurialism. But our perfect target market, we have several different programs that we can service different companies, and I'll tell you one that Ron and I are both involved in. It's called the Edge Platinum Peer Advisory Group. That's our top level. In that group, we're looking for companies that are doing around 4 to 20 million in sales per year, and they have employees. We tend to kind of gravitate towards the service industry. Because we feel like we can have a really big impact. Both of us have companies that we haven't had employees in the past. We really focus on service-type companies.
So 4 to 20 million, and that brings up a question I've always wondered about, is that's the scalability. What keeps the small business owner from getting to that $4 million and $20 million level business? Where are they struggling? What mistakes are they making to not be able to get to that next level like that?
I think your previous guest, Kelly, kind of hit on that a little bit. It was a lack of proper goal setting.
Would you say she hammered it?
She hammered it, yeah, hammered it. But yeah, I think it's a lack of goal setting, and that's one of the things that we do in our Edge program. Ron and I do with our clients is I hate to say forcing them to set goals, but we really do force them to set goals. And I think that's one of the biggest things that small business owners fail to do is setting goals. But I think there's something else that they're missing before they set goals, and we call it the elephant. How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
Exactly. And so what we do in the Edge group is we ask our clients to have a 90-day elephant. So every quarter they eat an elephant, and the elephant is a big goal. It's a life-changing goal. It's a business-changing goal. And then our weekly goals that we force them to do are the little bites out of that elephant. So it keeps their goals and their direction all in one line.
Similar to Peter risk though.
Similar to one of my favorite quotes, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Very
Exactly.
along the same line there.
Right.
Now, Ron is involved with you in this in the peer advisory groups.
Ron and I have been friends for 5 or 6 years.
So this is an amazing duo right here. And Dave, I didn't tell him, but I mean, you started and sold 2 companies, currently own 2 yourself.
Right.
So you've actually applied your principles to your own practices out there.
Absolutely.
So Ron, tell me a little bit about your involvement with the peer advisory groups and how you complement.
We started about 3 years ago, and we have now with one of our groups, we meet with them once a week, and they're from all over the country, and we give them we ask, what is their win for the week, what happened, what's their accomplishment, and then we set goals and we keep them accountable every week. And the whole principle is we say you can't start in the middle with a project. You have to establish what is the given, what are you working with, what's the goal you're seeking, and during the week, from week to week, you're in the minutia, you're in the journey, and that's where you need your flexibility and the stickability, and stay with that. But you have to keep yourself accountable.
What do you hear as challenges when you're talking these $4 to $20 million a year earners? I mean, what are their big challenges? I mean, we all hear them from the small business owner, but
mostly people.
Yeah,
it's hiring and the turnover, or just hiring qualified people.
A
lack of communication and understanding and clarity. I think Kelly hit on that pretty good too. A lack of clarity, and we teach all the time that to be unclear is to be unkind. And so we ask our clients to come up with a mission statement. And you'd be surprised how many organizations, large organizations, do not even have a mission statement for them to function off of. And so that's step number 1. You have to have a mission. Next, you have to have a vision. And then you have to have a purpose, MVP.
Oh, interesting. Right? I have a mission and a vision. I don't have the purpose, so I have to put that up on the website. So.
That purpose.
I thought the purpose was to not do real estate and just do radio. That was the goal.
And so, a lot of the challenge that we face is, like Ron said, employee management and a lack of clarity, a lack of communication. And I'm also a DISC certified human behavior consultant, and I bring that into our consulting and coaching as well, because when you have a high I type personality and you put them into a accounting situation, there's going to be communication problems. And so the DISC really helps us to place people in the
Can any business owner go online and get a DISC profile for themselves, and can they use it for hiring without, do they have to have a certain type of disclosures or anything, or can they just start using it, right now?
Absolutely. They can. There's places online you can go to get that.
And they can base hiring and firing decisions on a DISC profile. Is there any concerns with human resources or HR with regard to how you employ the DISC profile?
I mean, obviously you need to have an HR program and follow the rules, but basically for hiring, that's where we use it. Every employee that comes into our company, we have a DISC profile for them, and it's mainly for communication and placement within there. Exactly. But that's really the key, is so you know how to communicate to them. We hire and fire based off of the mission or lack of fulfilling the mission. That's why the mission statement is so powerful.
I did a DISC profile about probably 15 years or so ago when I worked in industry that I gave them to all the employees, and I had the most unique curve. I was low on everything except the D. The D was like sky high, so nobody else had a profile that looked like mine. I don't know. I mean, a lot of business owners and leaders have that high D personality, but
tremendously of knowing how to communicate with your coworkers.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I didn't have any high. Of course, this is 15 or 20 years ago. I don't know. Or do they tend to change over time? Maybe if I did it again, am I going to see something different? Maybe now?
I think environments change you, circumstances change you, but I think you basically stay. And I think if you're a high D, you'll probably always be a high D. I've taken the assessment 2 days apart from each other, and in between that time, something traumatic had happened, and my S came up.
The S, what's the high S mean?
High S is very supportive. You want to think Mother Teresa. They hurt themselves before they hurt others. They'll give the shirt off their back. Just always serving and supportive.
And the components of it, the D is like leadership and control. S, you said, is more like the support. What are the other components of the letters, and what do they focus on if they're high? What does that mean?
Right. So D is very dominant. They're driving. They're dogmatic. You want to think of Donald Trump. He's a very high D.
Big D.
Big D. And I also am off the charts a D. But I'm also off the charts in I, which I stands for inspiring, influencing, interested in people, and just a love of having, fun with people. You want to think of Dolly Parton, very, hey y'all, how's everybody doing? And everything is about people. The S, we covered that. They're very steady, loyal.
So who mixes well with a high D? Who should they be paired with to kind of offset that?
A high D should go with a S.
A high D with a high S.
Right.
But not two high Ds together.
Well, no. Yeah, and it's interesting because there's only 10% of the world population is a D-type personality.
Really? I would have thought it would have been higher.
You know why that is?
No.
I believe it's because of the grace of God, because the world couldn't handle more of us.
Good information there.
Most important, though, David, is we always say that whatever your actions are, you must provide a benefit.
That's right.
Yeah, very true.
Right.
Very true. That comes back to having clarity in what you do as well. Josh,
where can say a regular villager like me go and take this DISC profile test?
You can go online to, there's several different places, personalityinsights.com. Very soon, my website will have it where you can actually go on my website, but I can definitely get that information to you.
Is this a free thing, or is it a pay to
You have to pay. You have to pay. I can give you one for free. I have one out in my car. I'll give all of you one.
It's a bunch of
here.
questions. It keeps you busy for about 30, 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's about 50 questions. You have to answer the most and least like you, and it gives you a great assessment. It gives you an environmental graph, and it also gives you the real you. See, I believe that God created us to be who we are. And so when we deal with personalities, I don't mess with the real you. I try to change the environment that allows the real you to shine based in your environment.
Good information. Currently talking to David Kauffman, owner of Empowering Small Business. Learn more about this over at empoweringsmallbiz.com, and also in studio with Ron Klein, business analyst and inventor. Learn more about him at 4ronklein.com. That's the number 4ronklein.com. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Attention medical professionals. Have you heard the Tampa Bay will become the first certified wellness district in the country? Thanks to Jeff Fennick's revitalization of Channelside, the Dr. Whisperer wants to streamline your efforts in preparation. So when you're ready to ignite your practice, use the Dr. Whisperer's public relations expertise to spread the word. Use the Dr. Whisperer to motivate your staff. And use the Dr. Whisperer to recruit and secure leaders within your practice. Call the Dr. Whisperer today at 727-420-2481 or visit thedrwhisperer.com, where they write your prescription for success.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today. What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you. Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today, or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at home instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Good morning, crash in Tampa on eastbound Bush Boulevard, just east of Dale Mabry at Himes, and some delays there. Also southbound 275, picking up speed once again south of Fowler Avenue. Still a bit slow through Bush Boulevard, but once you get past Sly, you're good to go into downtown Tampa. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Compassion International. There is a little boy or girl living in poverty right now. They don't have enough to eat, are sick, and can't go to school. And you can release them from that poverty when you become a sponsor with Compassion International. Find out how at compassion.com/radio.
Today, partly sunny with a 30% chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, high 92. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 78. Tomorrow, a 20% rain chance, high 93.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Talking to David Kauffman and Ron Klein in studio today. So, David, you talk about the importance of accountability. Elaborate on this, please.
Yeah, I mean, accountability is a dirty word for entrepreneurs. We don't like the thought of being held accountable, but I can tell you that's the fastest way to reach your goals is to be accountable. And when I say the name Michael Jordan, what do you think of?
Basketball.
Basketball. Arguably the best basketball player in the world, in my opinion. At the top of his game, he had 8 coaches holding him accountable. And the accountability, I come from a viewpoint of we as business owners know what we need to be doing. We bought the programs. We probably have 3 or 4 programs sitting up on our shelf collecting dust. The reason that small businesses fail or don't do as good as they could, my good friend Howard Partridge says, is FTI, failure to implement. Mm-hmm. And what we do in the EDGE program is really hold them accountable to their goals. And again, I use that word, force them to apply their goals and to make it happen. So accountability is one of the main ingredients in the soup of business.
Now, you come across challenges every day in our businesses. How do you advise? You say how to overcome a challenge in your business. What do you advise when people ask you about different challenges?
Right. Well, and Ron can speak into this a lot too, but we at the Edge Group, we have a very formatted way of overcoming an obstacle or a challenge. And what we do is we have the challenge member clearly state their challenge. And then we have another member, this is the power of the peer group, we have another member clearly state or restate the challenge. Then we have everybody ask clarification questions to the challenge member. So this is a very distinct process with time limits on it to keep it moving. And then after that, every member goes around and handles their, or hands them the solution for their problem. I think you have to, like Ron will say, keep it very simple. And Ron has been mentoring me for, 4 years now, and he's a great friend. We've traveled around, spoken together, but he has a very unique way of solving business challenges.
Ron,
as well.
What we usually do is we paraphrase a challenge. I mean, somebody will take 15 minutes to describe their challenge, and I can paraphrase that in a sentence or less. Einstein said years ago that if you don't understand what your challenge is or what it is that your problem is, then you don't understand it yourself.
Right.
So you have to be able to state it.
So if they're rambling on, is it that they're just overcomplicating a simple problem?
Exactly.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It could be a communication problem. It could be a problem between a few employees. And you have to really simplify that challenge and not treat every challenge as a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
The challenge could be an opportunity.
And a lot of
There's
times,
a gift behind every challenge.
That's right. That's right. A lot of times, as they're speaking out their challenge, they tell me that solutions start coming because it's helpful. The process is really helpful to actually start talking about, and you start working it out in your mind. Our minds are very creative, and just the fact that they're talking about it. And it's a cool thing, too, that happens in a group setting is, I might be having a challenge in my business, but my peer over here is stating his challenge, and I'm thinking, wow, I suffer from the very same challenge in my business. I'm going to really, pay attention to this as well. And so it's a collaborative effort, as business owners helping business owners. They have a board of directors.
So what's the number one reason businesses fail then?
I think I mentioned that before, failure to implement. They know what to do. They know what they should do. They may not have all the tools, but I think the number one reason is they fail to take massive action. And I think one of the reasons that they fail to take massive actions is because they really don't know what they want in their business. See, if I want to go to Mount Everest, if I want to drive up Mount Everest, I'm not going to build a Pinto. I'm going to build a Hummer with four-wheel drives, and it's going to be a vehicle to take me where I want to go. That's the reason we have a business, is the fact that it's a vehicle to take us to our life goals.
Right.
And I think that's one of the reasons business owners fail is they don't know where they want to go.
Good information. So tell me, we got about a couple of minutes left. Why is it that you do what you do? Why do you enjoy coaching and giving back to the business community?
I am passionate about families and about helping people spend time with families, and I have a wonderful family. I remember my dad taking me fishing out of his busy schedule, and I think that's missing in our society. The reason I do what I do is to help small business owners find freedom in their business, because after all, that's why they started their own business in the first place, is to have freedom.
Mm-hmm.
It's not cool to be a slave to your own business. And so we help them set up systems, and when I say systems, I'm talking about policies and procedures to help them find freedom in their business. McDonald's is a perfect example of that. They have the best system to produce the worst product. Right. You think about that. You can go to Paducah, Kentucky, and go to California, and you can get the same consistent hamburger.
Mm-hmm. Free Wi-Fi, though.
Free Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
And the reason that I work with David is I want to make a difference.
Yeah.
Right.
And you've made a tremendous difference over on Klein with many inventions, and we've talked about those a number of times on the program. Well, we got to wrap up another great show. So David Kauffman, Ron Klein, thank you both for being in studio today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, and you can learn about David's programs over at empoweringsmallbiz.com. Again, empoweringsmallbiz.com, or give him a call, 941-759-3494. And more about Ron Klein over at 4ronklein.com. That's the number 4ronklein.com. Hope everyone has a great day. Be sure to tune in tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.